Hello, everybody. I am Nina Soden, hashtag the redheaded author, urban fantasy author of the Blood Angel series, the Sector C series, and the newly released The Beast Within, an interactive urban fantasy novel. And today I am so excited because I have Carlyle Labuschagne here with me. And she is the author of the soon to be released A Beast So Beautiful. So we're going to jump right in, ask her some questions about her book, and you're going to get a chance to comment below and let us know what you think about the book as well. So she is a South African USA Today best-selling, award-winning, and international best-selling author with a flair for mixing genres and adding loads of drama to every story that she creates. Her goal as an author is to touch people's lives and to help others love their differences and one another by delivering strong messages of faith, love, and hope within every outrageous world she writes about. Okay, tell me, Carlyle, how it is that you want to touch people with your stories. What do you want them to walk away from when they read your stories?
That's a good question. I love that question. That's the reason I started writing. I believe if, when I was a teenager, if I had the kind of books that are out now, I would have been more emotionally prepared for, the teenage years.
Yeah.
Because everything's a crisis when you're a teenager. And I do touch on subjects like, self-harm and rape and going through things alone and peer pressure. So I just want, the reader to feel they're not alone, and maybe they get a message of how to deal with the situation. You don't always listen to your teachers or your parents as a teenager. Yeah. So literacy and TV programs that touch on the situations that the reader is in or hasn't dealt with yet, I believe that will help them just connect and feel they're not so alone.
So are your books then, they are young adult books?
Yes, I have young adult books. They're usually fantasy with some sci-fi mixed into it. And then I do have older crime stories, but they're very clean. So anyone can really pick up my books.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about The Beast So Beautiful. This is one that is about to be released, is that correct?
Yes, and I know I say this about all my books, but it's my favorite so far.
Aren't they all though? Yes.
Yeah, I know, like your next baby. This is my baby.
That's right. That's right.
For the first time since my first book was released, it was really, really easy to write this one. The words flowed. My poeticness came out again. I didn't have to think too much. And I do believe I've grown a lot as an author, with every edit and every book you release and every reader. And, I do sometimes ask the readers just to leave a note in my messages and tell me how they find the book and where they think I can improve. And to me, my problem used to be not planning correctly and leaving a lot of questions for the reader. Yep. And you just don't write fast enough for the readers to, and some people get frustrated. Yep. So with this book, I just found it really, really easy to make a full circle, understand what it is. There is a bit of a cliffhanger ending, but book 2, I'm already halfway through. So I'm hoping to release it at the end of the year. And the title reveal is on your show. It's called A Love So Lonely.
Oh, yay. Okay. So A Beast So Beautiful and A Love So Lonely. I love that. Okay.
Thank you.
So I'm going to read the blurb for A Beast So Beautiful so that people can get a feel for the book and what it's about. And if you are interested in picking up your copy, the link below will give you all of the information you need. So that's in the description. So this is a book blurb for A Beast So Beautiful. A darkness falls over the land when the Queen of Rurith dies. Consumed but with grief, King Ivar becomes their son, Prince Leif, for his demise and locks him away in the castle, blames their son. The prince is left in total despair until a girl with hair the color of red sunset and green eyes shows him mercy. For
like
six,
you
like me, except I have blue eyes. For 6 years, she visits him in secret, giving him hope where none existed before. But Ruth hides many treacherous things that threaten to bring the kingdom to its knees until the prince and his beastly curse are released. Very exciting.
It sounds very exciting when someone reads it back to you. Especially an American accent.
Now, see, and I prefer your accent. I should send you my books and have you read them back to me. That would be awesome.
Perfect.
All right. So this is fantasy, yes?
Yes.
Clearly. And tell us a little bit about our prince, Prince Leaf. What is he like? And will the audience root for him, or are they not on his side?
I do believe the audience will root for him. He starts off as a young character in the beginning. He gets released from his tower and they're on a dog hunt. And, things just spiral out of control. And he then learns that he was born through magic. And in their kingdom, all witches and magic is not allowed to exist, so that the king could hide his, who he is and how he came about. And we find him going through a transformation that he doesn't understand. Nobody understands him. He doesn't know if these urges are real or if all the other hunters and the warriors of the kingdom feel the same way he does. And he has a beautiful maiden that just helps him to calm the beast. And whenever she's near, he feels more settled, more confident. And he learns to control his beast towards the end. But there's a lot of secrets that tear him apart. So he comes full circle again with his personality, where he's fighting all his demons towards the end.
Okay, very cool. So I want to read it. I don't know about anybody else out there, but I want to read it, which is
Thank
awesome.
you. I appreciate that.
So before we were talking about your writing, and you said that what you felt like your problem is that you didn't do a lot of planning. So are you a planner now, an outliner, or are you a plotter, or a planner or a pantster? Where do you kind of fall?
I'm about halfway. So what I do is I just free it to about the midpoint. Okay. And then I start making mind maps and notes where there's questions that need to be filled in. And, I like to bring it full circle. I find that it's just better for me to understand where I'm going with the story. Yep. So I'll make a mind map, and then the second half will just be how to close the situations and to bring closure to the story.
Okay, very cool. So what does your writing process look like? Are you a morning writer, evening writer? Are you at a desk with nice clean table? Are you, I've got piles and notes everywhere? Are you at a coffee shop? What is your writing process?
I must have coffee to write. And it's usually cappuccino. And very, very strong, usually like a triple or a double shot.
Okay, yes.
I can write at any time at any location. I do, because of COVID, I work from home now. So my desk is messy, but I try to clean it up about once, twice a week. And I find it very easy these days to just get stuck back into the story.
Yeah. So about how often, or I guess I shouldn't say how often, but like when you sit down to write, about how long do you write? Do you have a goal for the number of words, or do you have a goal for the amount of time you spend?
I don't like to put too much pressure on myself. I don't handle very well under pressure. So I just write, and it must just come. And if I feel stuck, then I'll just take a little bit of a break. Usually going to the sun helps me just revitalize a little bit, or going for a swim. And then I get stuck back into it. And then in the afternoon, I do some PR work for some of my author friends. And, it's American time. So the mornings I write, on weekends I write at nights, especially Friday nights.
Yeah. Okay. So are you a full-time author then? Is that your only job?
Yes.
Oh, you have the life we all strive for. Congratulations. One day I'm going to grow up and be there. We'll see.
Oh, you can be there anyway.
You're awesome.
Such a good writer yourself. You've accomplished a lot of things. So I wouldn't be so hard on myself if I were you.
Thank you. All right, so let's talk about what inspires you. So what inspired this book?
I actually got asked through my publisher, Firecore Publishing, to, write a story about, it was supposed to be gargoyles. So you get kind of half human, half beast. And sometimes I just get inspired by song titles or, something that I watched on TV that deeply moved me. Sometimes it's just watching life go by. But with this book, I got baptized, and I was in a really, really bad place. I was diagnosed with a chronic illness. My mom was in the hospital with heart disease. And I just prayed and prayed and prayed over the book and said, God, whatever you want this to be, let it be, because I know you've given me a talent and I don't want to waste the talent. And it will help me heal, and it will help me just escape a little bit from the real world. And it just took off and became what it is without much thought. And I think that's why I love the book so much. There's not much thought. It's just free flowing.
That's awesome. So
thank you.
You've got a number of books published. Are all of your books traditionally published through a publisher?
Yes, I struggle with self-publishing. I'm very good with creative side and marketing, but the nitty-gritty stuff, not for me. I tried it, but I just couldn't get my IT and I number from the States. South Africa's got a bit of a issue with the government that's so corrupt. So they denied me. And then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to search for a publisher and they can handle that for me for a while.
And how was that process of getting a publisher? How was that? I know here in the States, it is extremely hard to get a publisher for
Really?
Yes. So
I would not have imagined that.
Yes. So how was that process for you?
Well, when I first released my first and second book, there was a girl in South Africa, doesn't stay too far from me. She had also released fantasy, and her publisher actually stole a lot of money from her. So she used to be a fan of my writing, and she got hold of me and she said, you know what, you've got such a big, marketing mind. And because I'm really good at marketing, I have to boast that. And I love your writing. Would you join forces with me? Let's start a publishing company in South Africa, but also publish internationally so that we can, bridge the gap between self-published authors and, authors that get really not treated very well by their publishers, because there's a lot of them out there.
Oh, yeah.
And she writes so fast. I think she's almost got 40 books that she's busy with.
Wow.
Yeah, so we started the publishing company, and it's been really hard with COVID. So it's been up and down. But we've been overseas with our books, and I must say the American reader market is huge, and we really appreciate that. And we wanted to bring that kind of readership and culture to South Africa. Our country is very conservative. Okay. So they don't read as much as the other countries do. They really don't.
Yeah. And for an author, that's gotta hurt. When I hear people don't like to read, I'm like, why?
Well, why?
Why don't you?
Well, it's really very inspiring. I've been in a lot of media, but I made that happen for myself. I forced it on the book world and on the media people to recognize that, for the youth, you can be a writer and you can be a reader and you can make money out of it. And you can, just inspire and leave a legacy for people younger than you. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that leads me to my next question. You say that you started your own publishing company. What aspect of that do you enjoy the most? I would imagine, getting your own books published and everything, but what else do you do for the publishing company, and what part of that most inspires you?
I do the marketing for the company. I'm really, really good at networking and creative marketing. And I know that being here in our country, being hands-on and actually just going out and seeing the people and, organizing. If there's no book signings, then I organize my own book signing, And I'm good with networking and researching. And I've done a few book signings that I've established, and it sold out completely. The one we donated 1,000 books to underprivileged schools.
Wow.
And just writing is just such a phenomenon that everybody needs to be part of, and anybody that reads can write.
Yep.
So with the publishing company, we try and get the word out there, and we approach the media. And one of the gimmicks that I got was through one of the biggest rock bands in our country, where I went to them and I said to them, I love your music. It's like inspiration behind some of my scenes. And they said, fine, quote it in the book as long as you bring it backstage and we sign it. And there's just the little things that if you have so much passion for your work, anything can be marketable if you just, put yourself out there.
So I've talked with a lot of authors, and myself struggle with this as well. Many authors struggle with that aspect of being an indie author. Yes, we are. So many of us are. But yes. I think I talk more to indie authors than I do traditionally published authors a lot of time, because they're the ones, indie authors are seeking out, hey, how do I market myself? Let's do an interview. Yes. So it's exciting to get somebody on here who is traditionally published and who is really good at marketing, because so many of us struggle with, how do I get my name out there? How do I get my books out there? So to talk to you and you be so excited and passionate about marketing, it's a change. It's different than what I'm used to.
I think the bottom line is just to be persistent.
Yeah.
And, there's many times that people want to just give up. And I've done that many times. And your family go, no, you're happy when you write. Please, no.
Yes.
And just be persistent and, take it at your own pace. Don't follow trends. Don't follow other people. Be true to who you are. Don't try and impress readers. Because I think they'll feel that. Oh, yeah. And, I've been doing this for 9 years and I'm not super rich and I haven't done like 20 books, but I'm still here, and that matters to the readers.
So with that, and that being so hard for so many authors, what is the hardest part for you about being an author?
I think the hardest part is sticking to a deadline. I can't.
Yeah.
I struggle with that. Hopefully one day when I'm a big girl, I'll be able to deliver on time.
All right. And you say you've been doing this for 9 years. So you published your first book, in 2012 then?
Yes.
Same with me. Very exciting.
Oh, congratulations.
And let's talk about that. Do what?
We're almost at 10 years.
That's right. Almost. Okay, so let's talk about that very first book. How long did it take you to go from concept to publication?
Concept took me 4 weeks done. Then I landed a publisher. I didn't know at the time anything. There weren't any resources in our country. And it was a vanity press, but I don't regret it because I learned a lot from them. Yeah. They helped with the editing, everything, and obviously you have to pay your way through it.
Yes.
And I did a lot of sales. I also did all the marketing. So I had the copyright for myself. So I would say it was about a year.
Okay. From concept to publication, a year.
The editing takes long. I don't rush it.
Yeah, editing, you can't. I mean, you have to make sure that it's done right. So yeah. I know I always tell people, do not rush your editing. Get it done right. Pay an editor. Pay an editor.
Yes.
All right. And now with your latest book, A Beast So Beautiful, how long did that take you from concept to publication?
Also about a year. Strangely enough, before I sent it to the new publishers, Crushing Hearts, Black Butterflies, I edited myself on Grammarly. But I was really confident about the book and I really did take my time. And I think I must have gone over the book at least 40 times. Yeah. And when the editing process came, there wasn't many changes to be had. It's also a short book, 65,000 words. Might sound like a lot, but it's, for me, that's short.
Yeah.
Especially coming from a reader's point of view. When they see the book's under 400 pages, they're like, oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So about a year.
Okay. And at what point in all of your writing, once you started that first book, or when did it happen that you looked at yourself and you said, I'm an author? Not just a writer, but I'm an author.
When I signed my first contract.
Yeah.
You have to believe in yourself. Otherwise, you're not going to make it in this industry.
Absolutely. And how did that feel?
It felt great. I messaged everyone that night. I think I didn't sleep for about 3 days.
Yes. I often tell people that you put so much blood, sweat, and tears into your books that it really is a part of you. So when you look back on the books that you have written, which one had the biggest impact on your life, and what was that?
Definitely the first book, The Broken Destiny. It's kind of my life story and my struggles I went through as a teenager, and I just dramatized it on another planet and people with powers to make it more fascinating.
Okay. And have you found, is that the book that affects most readers, or have you found that other books readers connect with more? Is there a specific book that your readers are connecting with the most?
The first book is really for a niche clientele, I would say, readership. It's very, very, if I look at the writing now, I want to cringe, but it's the way it came out. It's the way it was written. Because I'm not English, it was a little bit of a struggle to get the tenses right. And, the sentences were a little bit not destructive, turned around a little bit.
Okay.
So, but it was a good book to write. It was a good book to start with. But every single book that I now write, it just gets more readers, and a lot of people say to me, oh, this is the best one you've written so far. So it's a learning curve still.
Yes. And I think that's our hope, is that with every book we write, we get a little bit better. We don't want to go back to what we were as that initial.
No. Yeah. But it can happen very quickly.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Tell me a little bit about just you. Outside of writing, what is it that you love to do? What are you passionate about?
I love to swim. I love spending time with my husband. We're like best friends. We've been together since we were 17.
Wow.
So whatever we can do together. We used to travel quite a bit before COVID. I would recommend that for anybody, even if you have to take a loan out. Go and see the world, go and experience different people. It's so good for your soul. And I really do enjoy going to gym. It's such a reliever, and it feels good when you look good and you're healthy and you're strong.
Absolutely. So you traveled a lot.
I love healthy food. I'm passionate about healthy food.
Okay. Well, then I want to ask you about that. But first I want to ask you, where is your favorite place that you've traveled?
I love New Zealand. I just felt so at home there. It's beautiful and it's clean and it's nature. And growing up, my dad and my mom used to take us to go swim in the waterfalls and climb mountains and ride horses, because I grew up on a farm, and I miss that because we don't have that anymore. It's too dangerous to go out. So New Zealand was kind of brought those old feelings back when I grew up, to go swim in the rivers and climb mountains and walk through the woods. We don't have woods here. Okay. So we went through the redwood forest, and can't tell you what that did to my soul.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, and now you're a healthy eater. So I assume you don't put junk food and all that into your body, fast foods. What are you most passionate about when it comes to? You do. I have my days stuff, but I like the junk too.
When I have PMS, I eat all of it.
Yes. So what type of healthy foods are you most drawn to?
I love doing green smoothies. They're my favorites. I also love taking lactose-free yogurt with berries and a smoothie with coconut milk and peanut butter and some turmeric and some banana is divine.
Okay, you're making me hungry now.
I'm also hungry.
Right, so let's get back to you as an author. How has COVID affected your writing, or has it at all?
It's made it better because I've got more time at home. I don't have to rush between jobs, and my job used to be about an hour away and sometimes 2 hours back, depending on the traffic. And then rushing to get the kids, and then rushing to make food, and then rushing to clean the house, and then rushing to make food again. So I've got a lot more time. I used to do one book in 18 months. Well, now I'm doing almost 2 books a year.
And what was your job prior to COVID?
I used to work for my dad's company doing marketing, so going out and seeing clients. It was a difficult industry to be in, the trucking industry, and nobody really wanted anything to do with the girl. But my whole background is marketing and sales. So I love networking and I really do get along with people. Although a big part of me is an introvert, when it comes down to business, it's like I just change to someone else.
Well, that's good. You kind of need to if you're going to be in a marketing type of field or marketing yourself and your books.
Yes. It's still scary.
Yes. I think it's very hard. I can talk all day about my books. It's when I'm trying to market myself that it becomes difficult. And it
does become difficult.
Yeah, you have to sell yourself as an author because people buy
your identity is in your story.
Amen. Yes,
and then you're like, who am I today?
Yes, exactly. All right. Is there anything else you want my viewers to know about you or your books before we jump into the hot seat round?
I think we've just about covered it all. I'm quite relaxed. I don't like to force myself these days. Like I said, it's in God's hands.
Yes. Amen. All right. So this is how I like to end all of my interviews. It is with the James Lipton Inside the Actors Studio famous questionnaire. It's 10 questions, super easy. There are no wrong answers.
Here we go.
No wrong answers. And just give me the answer that pops into your mind. And you do not have to explain them, however weird or strange or whatever they are. No explanations needed.
Okay, I'll give it a bash.
Question number 1. What is your favorite word?
Can it be a swear word?
Yes.
It's fork. Like that.
I love how you say it with your accent. What is your least favorite word?
Ooh, I don't like moist.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It's nasty.
Yeah. Okay, what turns you on?
Kisses in the neck.
And what turns you off?
Moist.
What sound or noise do you love?
I love thunder.
What sound or noise do you hate?
I hate my dogs barking late at night.
Yes. All right, and I believe I already noticed, but maybe you have a second one. What is your favorite curse word?
Folk.
All right. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Ooh, I would like to be a figure skater.
Okay. What profession would
I'm
you
actually going to try and do that.
You're going to try to be a figure skater?
Yeah, why not?
I got a little leotard, got me some skates, I'm going.
Let's do this.
That's right. I would like video. I would like to see pictures or video, or it didn't happen.
No problem.
All right. What profession would you not want to try?
Being a journalist. I'd be scary.
As a writer, being a journalist seems scary?
I don't want to see the ugly things. I don't like violence.
Okay. All right, last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Oh, I've been waiting for you.
I like that. All right. So, everybody, you need to check her out. I will have links to her social media down below in the description. Make sure you click those links. Make sure you check her out and order a copy of A Beast So Beautiful. Thank you so much, Carlyle, for coming.
Thank you for your time.
I'm so glad I got to meet you and talk with you, and I cannot wait to read this book.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll go check you up as well.
Please
I
do.
love reading. I love any story. Of course, I'm going to.
Every genre, everything. I read just about anything. So I think it's important.
Oh, me too, except erotica.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't read that either. But I do think that as authors, it's important that we read just about everything and support
One day,
each other.
I'm about 60, I'll pick up.
That's right. When you just don't care anymore, right?
Yes.
You can do anything when you're 60.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time. I really had a lot of fun.
Thank you. I did as well.